The Kenya Revenue Authority announced a new requirement for all fuel stations to adopt the electronic tax invoice management system, commonly known as eTIMS, by 30th of June 2025. The move, they say, is aimed at curbing fictitious VAT claims and improving tax compliance in the petroleum sector. That deadline has come and gone. And as our reporter Wambui Wangui found out, while large multinational oil firms have largely complied, small and independent dealers are crying foul, citing prohibitive costs and warning of a looming shutdown in rural areas.
The Kenya Revenue Authority now requires all fuel stations to link their fuel pumps with the electronic tax invoice management systems, eTIMS. This system allows each fuel transaction to be recorded in real time and sent directly to KRA's servers. Drivers will now receive a valid electronic invoice after fueling their vehicles. These digital receipts are necessary for those claiming input VAT, such as fleet operators and transport companies. And with the deadline now passed, the uptake has been polarizing. Large petroleum dealers such as Total, Shell and Ruby's have largely integrated their systems with KRA.
Basically, the machine is connected to a network that is able to see whatever the pumps are selling. And then there is a process that is done to make sure the sales are integrated with the server for KRA, so that the receipts are VAT compliant as eTIMS as it is required by KRA.
For the larger, more established petroleum dealers here in the country, this was merely a small bump on the road that they have since dealt with and moved on. The machine is already up and dispensing integrated receipts. However, the smaller independent dealers are now wondering whether this additional cost is something that they will be able to meet. Irene Kimathi speaks for smaller independent dealers operating mostly in rural and remote areas as a chairperson of the United Energy and Petroleum Association. She says that about 98% of the members are yet to comply due to the high implementation costs, estimated at over 400,000 shillings. This cost can go to as high as 1 million shillings, depending on how automated a petrol station is.
Now you know the irony of this is that the people that sit in offices don't know that 1 million shillings is a lot of money to Kenyans. 400,000 shillings is a lot of money. And therefore they should come up with solutions that are working for everyone.
When asked about the high cost of implementation, KRA responded in a statement to Citizen TV saying the costs will vary depending on a station's existing system, level of automation and the chosen integration method. Certified integrators are best placed to assess a station setup and provide a tailored cost estimate. To implement this system in petrol stations, KRA had accredited 5 technology companies referred to as certified integrators. The companies say that the solutions are developed abroad and that can make them costly in the local market.
For small petrol station, my take is that, as you have said, we are looking for a cheaper solution which will be able to affordable to them. And then talking to the financial institution can be able to spend for them that payment within a certain duration period.
The smaller dealers complain that this will squeeze their margins further. This is because the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority sets the maximum retail prices for fuel on the 14th of every month, and so dealers will not be able to pass this cost on to the consumer.
For heaven's sake, how do we survive? We are looking for investors outside the country, yet we are killing our very own investors by our policies that are not workable.
KRA maintains that extensive public participation was conducted. The statement reads in part, and I quote, "Implementation of the eTIMS fuel station system began in June 2024 using a phased approach over a 12-month period, which included extensive stakeholder engagements and a voluntary pilot phase." And that Kimathi does not dispute.
We sit down with them, we tell them factors on the ground, they go back to their offices, they come up with their draconian laws that they imagine should work. and then they bring them to us.
With limited time and resources, small dealers say they are being squeezed out of a market they've helped sustain for years, even as larger, well-capitalized players tighten their grip on the sector. Wambui Wangui, Citizen TV.